Hello, everyone. This is the Bold King Cole, part of LuckoDaStars, and I'm here with a very special guest. I would like you to introduce yourself, my good sir.
Captain Southbird.
Huzzah! It's good to have you here, Mr. Southbird. I gotta say, I've been a fan of your work for quite a while. Alright, now that we got that up and running, So what were your what was the videos that you remember working on the most when you were under the belt of Vinesauce?
What was the what?
What was the video that you remember enjoying the most when you were working with Vinesauce?
I guess besides things like Tomogachi Life and those kind of things. What was that weird Sonic game?
Dreams
Collection. Dreams Collection.
Oh man. You know, I'm funny you should mention that one. You know that weird running Sonic? I actually use that as the comparison to the old design for Sonic.
Oh.
Oh god, that game is like an acid trip. You need to take some acid to just enjoy it more.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. Well, it's also funny because at that time, Vinny was like really well known for just kind of hating Sonic, and so like when I edited that video, I tried to do this spin on it where it was like he was in some kind of Sonic hell paying for his sins.
I'm not much of a Sonic player. I'm not much of a Sonic fan actually, but
yeah, fast! So fast! Look how slow fast I'm going!
Well,
so it was like I interspersed his other streams where he was making fun of Sonic games here and there, and that was kind of what I was going
for. Well, considering the fact that he's kind of a Mario fanboy, I kind of see why he hates Sonic.
Who really died that day? And who came back?
I think he came around a little bit, so like much later he finally played Sonic 3 and Knuckles with a friend of his, and I think he came around a bit.
Knock knock.
Yeah.
Well, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is still a great game. I really wish they did a remaster for that one, but unfortunately, because of the copyrights for certain songs and such. But a lot of people rediscovered the original beta for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which was technically the Sonic 3 and Knuckles PC variant with the same exact music that the beta had.
Yeah, that was a pretty fascinating find.
Yeah, but I'm like one of those hipsters who already knew the whole thing, but now everyone knows about it. Like, dude, what the heck? I told you about this years ago. You said that the music sucked, but now all of a sudden you're saying it's awesome? Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Well, I mean, think about it. Originally, the way anyone from the original era perceived it was that music got replaced. We didn't know that the PC version had original tracks. We thought they were replacement tracks. And you get defensive about the original soundtrack. It's just kind of how it is. It's impossible to know at the time what they were doing.
Yeah, sure. Tell that to my wounded ego. Oh, let me fix that. Gotta raise you up, baby.
No problem.
Raise him up high. I don't know what song I'm talking about, but all right. All right. Say something.
Hello.
Okay.
Audio test.
Okay, something that's more than 2 or 3 words.
All right, then I'll say 12 words, except I'm not counting, so I'm not sure what you just said.
Perfect! You were doing a couple of other experimental stuff, like the whole beast intersection thing. What was your mind process with that?
So a lot of stuff, like I said, since I was in Vinesauce 2015 to 2018, so anywhere in that time span, a lot of times I was inspired by something Vinny was doing, except I kind of wanted to put my own twist on it. So the very first thing you would find was like I did a Tomogachi Life thing where I randomized the actual text lines in the game. It wasn't the same thing as I was doing later. It just mixed them up instead of like adding new text. And I also mixed up the animations. But anyway, so that used his Tomogachi Life characters, and I figured that'd be popular. So then he was playing the Animal. Well, he's been playing the Animal Crossing games since before I started working for him, and then of course he was playing them currently. I think it was in 2016 around that time. So I was going to do spin-off with his characters, and specifically I was going to use the YouTube comments from his videos and put them into the game dialogue just for a weird twist. And that's what the very original so-called Beast Intersection video is, except it wasn't called that at the time. That name didn't come until the second episode. It was only it was called Animal Crashing at the time.
Anywho, so basically, Beast Intersection was using the comments from Vinesauce, and that's what how it was formed.
Yep, that was the original incarnation. The thing was, of course, that's funny once, and then it's like, I mean, I did actually attempt that same thing again, and it's just like, it's just more of the same. So I didn't make another one of those for months after that. And then a different thing happened again. This was Vinny. He got this other guy who did what I call telephone translation on the game script. I think it was Krono Trigger first.
Direct line between now and the end of Israel? Let it die!
Let it die, let it die, let it shrivel up and come on, who's with me, huh?
In Final Fantasy VII later, where, basically it takes it from English and translates it to a bunch of different languages and then back again, which of course mangles all the sentences.
I am wood. Oh, JoJo, that's the one thing that pretty much sums up all that gobbledygook into one single phrase. I am wood.
So that was the next one. So the next one, I got in touch with the same guy. Actually, got in touch with me, but whatever. And then we did the same thing on Animal Crossing. We just took the whole game script. He ran it through his magic tool, and it spit out this corrupt game script. And so that was the second episode, and that's where the name Beast Intersection actually came from. It's Animal Crossing after having been run through this translator a bunch of times.
Huh.
Animal Crossing Beast Intersection. That's how that came about.
Well, I gotta say, that's a perfect fit. I mean, it's not wrong.
Yeah. So that's how that worked. And then, and again, so then, I did this thing. It was funny. I enjoyed it. And then it's like, and I try to do a third video. And then once again, it's like, yeah, it's just the same stupid translation again. So I wanted to do something different. And since I was tired of Vinesauce comments and I was tired of the translation, it's like, well, I need new text. So then I started going into this whole, well, it's like you take all these YouTube comments and it's like, and then I'm going to throw in some TV shows and movies that I like. And then later on, I started scraping off Reddit, because Reddit actually has a lot of usable text.
Yeah, considering the fact that Reddit is a complete utter shitstorm, I wouldn't put it past the fact that it has good material.
Yeah. And that's what happened, starting with Beast Intersection 3, which is really the first one of the modern concept, I think. And going forward, that was the gist of it. As time went on, I did start to refine things, like, it's okay, this personality type has this set of text. And it was really easy to do from Reddit, It's like, well, let's take this particular subreddit that's got this particular topic. And like for Chief, very popular, he uses shower thoughts a lot. And it's just fantastic for him.
Funny you should mention about Chief. Look. Look in the Twitch.
Niggas Dexter and niggas Sister Didi. Oh boy.
Okay.
Fox and Bird to the lab again.
Yeah, that's funny. That's so it's you kind of brought up this other interesting thing, of course, is later on I started to get some technical talent, like actually being able to change the game models a little bit. And then, so yeah, Chief is an example. And even when I was doing, so it's like I started, okay, there's a bunch of different things. One thing is, I never really wanted to play the human villager. You're just forced into that.
Yeah, basically you're the only human in a world full of furries.
Yeah, so I never liked that. I was just, I was dealing with what I could. In my mind, I always wanted to be the bird character, and so I approximated it the best I could. But then, finally I spent enough hours playing around with it, and I finally figured out how to change the human more into the bird character. I think it was actually Teckworks who suggested the mohawk hair piece originally, though. It's like, hey, this would work good for your character. It's like, yeah.
Well, gotta say, it has a very nice looking design.
Yep.
One of my friends confused you for a Skarmory a little while back. Well, if you're shooting spikes out and stalling, then I'd be worried.
Mm.
So yeah, on the topic of that, when did you start doing the story aspect for it? Like one of my favorite segments was when the whole breakup with you and Bella, and then Bella's confession.
Yeah, so we were talking Wolfburg, the second season.
Oh yeah.
That really, actually, Wolfburg's probably my favorite. I think I like it even more than the third one. So let's start with that. So Wolfburg, I mean, I don't go into these things with any particular plan. It's random text. I let the story write itself. I'm just trying to follow along as it goes, and that's hard sometimes, like, to make it interesting, because of course I'll have a character saying something that's really fascinating, and then they just go off on a tangent because they're brainless. They're just reading random lines, and it's like, well, that's too bad, because that could have been cool.
Look at you, Chief. I mean, he got a good heart. He saved you.
Right. Well, Chief. Chief's easy because he's basically a character who you expect his mind to be wandering. I think, but it's okay. It's all funny. But it's Freya is really the star of season 2 and kind of 3. She started out. So yeah, there was the break. So she started out with the whole. Here we're distributing the sex tape thing. And that's how that started, and that's what led into the Bella breakup routine, which again, that really wasn't planned. That just sort of is the words that fell out of their mouth, and it's like, oh, okay.
Well, I gotta say, it was perfect. It was perfect timing.
Yeah. And then okay, when that so I started doing that, and then a couple episodes in, the other thing that had formed out of the first season was Anka just being
a bitch.
Yes. And so I was talking with Tech at the time, and I said, like, what can I do with these characters? Because I said, so Freya's done some of this interesting stuff, and Anka's just like always been kind of one-dimensionally angry. And then he said, we should do the anime stereotypes.
Baka.
Yeah, I'm gonna butcher the words probably. I guess it's yandere, sundere. I don't even know how you're supposed to say them.
Sundere. Yeah, yandere is. Oh shit, wrong one. A yandere is basically the one who wants to kill anyone who gets close to their lover. A sundere is someone who's comes off as a jerk, but they actually do care.
Right. So anyway, then that's what we decided. Okay, we're gonna make Anka the sundere, and Freya's gonna be the yandere. And so then this was a rare moment of customization. It's like, so we're not going to just do purely random text from anywhere on the internet. It's like, let's focus what these characters are going to pull from. And so that actually, it generated some interesting stuff where we had like Anka. I really started to feel like one of those characters. Like, she had these weird feelings for Bird, but she couldn't resolve them for one reason or another. And then of course Freya just became a maniac.
She's mad, insane, Wendell.
So that was it was interesting how that played out.
In the words of the legendary Anchorman himself,
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Yeah, so I mean that's how that went. So Wolfberg mostly played out the arc of Freya obsessing and Bird trying to repair his relationship with Bella. Oh, and of course she had the big confession, like you mentioned. That was a funny case. So it's like my tool that scrapes out this text and stuff and tries to process it. It sometimes messes up, or I had the settings kind of quirked or something. Bella was reading from like some kind of breakup Reddit, I think, or something like that. And then like so instead of just saying one or two things, she ended up saying like 20. So it looked like a passionate outpouring. It wasn't really a glitch technically, but it was kind of good.
Hey, it fit perfectly.
Well, that's what I love about this thing. See, the problem with it is I can record for like 12 or 15 hours sometimes for one episode, and I only get like 20 minutes out of it. So it's moments like that when it's like, that's amazing, and unfortunately it can sometimes be a lot of sifting before I get the amazing stuff. But every once in a while.
Oh yeah, definitely sounds like sound like it worked in a lot of the favor for the lore and everything else. I think a lot of people a lot of people have been on your TV tropes for that as well.
Yeah, and I definitely have to give credit to whoever's been working on that. It's pretty fascinating. It's not me. I didn't touch that. It just kind of spawned.
Long if I wait for a day, I might be able to have a TV trope that actually not have me as a villain. In fact, have a TV trope in general.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's all very interesting. I guess the logical progression is you look at season 3 then. Birdston. Can't remember my own names. And so that's what the difference between 2 and 3. So I think 2 had a better story that kind of flowed. 3, we started out, we had Percy and Anka thing is how it started. Again,
I actually have a theory regarding to why Freya gone insane. Looking at you, Tech. Looking at you.
Well, he gave me the seed, but.
Buddy, that was innuendo. You didn't get the point. You gave her the seed.
So yeah, the whole Percy Anka thing started out season 3, and it wasn't very good. That was it was just a mistake. Not a mistake, but a thing that happened. Percy said something about him and Anka being together, I think is how that started.
Well,
like for a year.
Well, I'm pretty sure the one person that's completely heartbroken about the whole thing is Teckworks himself. Because
it's funny that they put those two together,
Yeah, unfortunately, he can never have his queen. Sorry, bro, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Well, and I think in the canon, as it were, Percy's problem is that he's Percy. I mean, you've seen how he explores.
Well, at least he's not Glenn Quagmire. Oh Lord,
not quite.
Oh. Well, if he keeps that up, I'm gonna have to call a restraining order. Love you, Tacky.
So that, yeah. So, but anyway, the point is it was a start, and it's like,
oh fuck.
All you...
Keep going.
Yeah, I know. There's things being said. Let's see. So yeah. So anyway, it kind of. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to set these two to be talking about wedding plans because apparently that's their story. And then it was boring, right? Because it's like all they kept talking about was wedding stuff, and it's like, well, this isn't very interesting. So then I was like, all right, I'm just going to have them break up, basically. And so then I started. That's when I started making Percy more like Teckworks makes Percy, as somebody who just kind of is free spirited, let's say, and then of course breaks Anka's heart. That whole thing winds up dead, And then, but I've only got like 3 or 4 episodes in here, and it's like, what am I gonna do now? And it's like, well, I had fun with Freya, so let's bring that back again. And I did it slowly. There was also a kind of an over text or whatever, subtext, I guess, where it was like Percy was seeing Freya on the side.
Oh, side bitch.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Yeah. And then there was the resident Phoebe in town, and she was apparently also involved with. And it's like at this point they just kept talking about Freya, but Freya wasn't on screen. So it's just like Freya's out there somewhere.
Oh, where'd you get that one from?
Which one?
The text regarding to the Freya thing. Where'd you get that from? Like, what's it from? Let's just from Reddit or something. Like they're talking, like, or did you put that in yourself?
You mean like where they just mentioned Freya?
Yeah, when they were mentioning Freya.
All right. Well, so part of the text stuff that I import. I mean, like I said, I use TV and movie scripts sometimes. The thing is, of course, I'm not going to have those character names in there because that would be weird. So I swapped them out with villager names. So coincidentally, you're reading a line from some other script where they talked about another character, but then it says Freya, just by chance. And it's like, okay. I just play with that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, over the time this has evolved, I've done a lot of these little tricks trying to put together, how to import text, make it usable, make it readable, make it actually make sense in the universe. A lot more work than just importing YouTube comments and laughing at them being nonsense.
Completely understandable.
So, yeah, that's unfortunately the side effect is that the production time goes way up. I'm trying so much harder to figure out a story from the random nonsense. It makes my recordings go really long because I'm getting so much garbage and I have to filter it down. But no, it's the way it works. I keep hoping I'll come up with a better method that way. And I mean, I've seen some impressive AI-based chatbots lately, for example. And I keep wondering if I could somehow integrate one of those because they actually sort of make sense.
Maybe.
Have you ever used the Talk to Transformer one?
Never heard of it, actually.
It's pretty fascinating. So you actually enter in like a sentence, and it too is based on Reddit stuff, supposedly, at its core, but however it does its language generation is far more intelligent than just random. And a lot of times it'll spit out stuff that is creepily readable. And I don't really even know how it works. This is a whole science that I'm not familiar with, the whole neuronet stuff,
Just say nanomachines.
Yeah, well, something like that.
Nanomachines, son.
So, but anyway, if I could ever integrate something like that, that might make my life easier. But I don't have it today, so all I have is my random.
Yeah.
But yeah, the best thing I got is that I can segregate certain text pools by the personality of the character, and that's worked out okay for some things. Like Chief writes himself, that's beautiful.
Segregate. And we're talking to a black guy. My God, you are hilarious. Oh, I love my dark humor. I wish I was dark as it. How would this type of AI affect Chief's dialogue?
I honestly don't know because I haven't wrestled control of it, but that would be fascinating. Imagine, so this whole AI thing is actually reading all this text and trying to intelligently, through whatever mathematical magic, actually understand language. If you fed it nothing but shower thoughts, would it just emit like nothing but, what would that even be? Floating consciousness,
Dude, don't be cheap on me right now. I swear to God. You're gonna do the voice for that if you're gonna be doing that type of shit, bro.
You're right.
Yeah, I actually gonna be getting someone to do the voice of Tom Nook. That's not me. And I still need to look for someone to do the voice of Bella. Yes, Bella the mouse is in here because she's best girl.
it'd be really interesting to actually have voices. I mean, I often wished in another reality I could have voice actors.
And of course, do you think that dialogue I did regarding to the purple parade fits well with Chief?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, since he's basically like Ed from Ed, and Eddie, I think it'll be pretty easy to do.
It's just, making a bit. I guess the easiest way to describe what Chief does is you take an observation, and then, you observe everyday life in a way that you don't normally think about it. Something like.
So basically, overanalyzing a forethought that just popped into your head and just try to find reason behind it.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
My next question: how did you and Teckworks meet up?
So once again, just like everything else, that goes back to the Vinesauce stuff and Klingon. Klingon was a huge linchpin. I guess go bring that out a little bit. So Klingon, of course, was a character in the Tomogachi Life series, and specifically, Vinny was not a fan of her. But to get the full context, Vinny is a Star Trek fan, right? And he was looking for Mies to add to his Tomogachi Life game. So one of the things that somebody came up with is like, here, Vinny, this is a Klingon, like the Star Trek character Klingon.
Yeah, Space Works.
Right. And so he eagerly puts in the QR code and out pops this deformed thing with the crazy voice.
That thing that sounds like hi?
Yes. And that was just somebody messing with Vinny. So I think by default he found her not only annoying, but like, a personal attack against his Star Trek fandom or something like that.
I think Hollywood already done that already.
But anyway, so Klingon was the thing. So I thought she was cute. And then it was like, well, I'm going to just go off to the side and make pro Klingon videos. And when I did my edits of his Tomogachi Life stuff, I would kind of try to put her in a positive light, maybe add little comments on the screen and stuff like that. And it was really just me trying to break out and have something that was my own. It's really how that started. Then I kind of became notorious for it after a while. It was like the Klingon guy, So that became a thing. And then I think then the audience started to turn because I guess I provided an alternate take and people had something else to bounce off of. And anyway, somehow or another, she became actually kind of popular. And then that's when Teckworks made a drawing of her, like for the Buru, the Vinesauce Buru. And I'm trying to remember the exact order of where I was at the time. I just remember finding that and then getting in contact with him and saying, I want you to redraw my YouTube channel, the banner. And so then we worked out a deal and some design. And then in addition, he also came up with the modern design of the Southbrook character. Because at the time I was using something that looked much more like just a mechanical toucan, but he made the whole cartoon character appearance. That was all his work.
Well, did you follow your nose at the very least? I say yes.
That's right. So that's how we got started there, but that wasn't really like us working together regularly. That wouldn't happen for a while. So then, because Tomogachi Life came and went, I was starting to do Vinny's Animal Crossing, which we called Mayor Vine, just because it's the title character, and Tech had randomly drawn an Isabel character, and I just saw off, it was unrelated. He just drew Isabel. And I saw it and I said, can I pay you to use that as a thumbnail for one of the Mayor Vine videos? And then we worked out a price on that. And then that became a thumbnail. And then he just kind of started wanting to do more thumbnails for me. And that's how that got started.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so a personal history. I mean, when I was like between 10 or 12 years old is when I actually started messing around with computer programming stuff. and part of my inspiration was Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES, which, you know, I'm old. That was a game of my childhood, and but that kind of inspired the direction of my learning. I was fascinated with, well, I want to see how to program video games. So I've been toying with the idea most of my life. I know a lot about the technical stuff behind a video game, but when it actually comes to like setting up visuals and things, it's a lot of stuff I don't know. And so the idea of making a game is something I've always really wanted to do. I've sort of done that through the game hacks. You know, at least I've got to explore a little bit of creativity. But, you know, making something from the ground up that's all mine, that's not I've approached it, but I've never quite got there. Certainly not even to the level that you're at the moment.
All right.
See Molly over there.
Yeah, she's adorable. I mainly put in Molly because I remember Chugga Conroy loving her so much. She's a sweet girl.
Well, she's one of Vinny's ducks too, I believe.
No, I believe you're thinking of what was his name? Scoots.
Yes, well, that was the main duck.
Well, I guess he has a duck tail.
Sure does. Yep, Vinny and his duck town. And Cherry.
Hey, Cherry is the best. I ain't gonna lie there, man. Also, is Vinny by chance Hugh Neutron? Hey, Jimbo, check out my new ducks. Yeah. I've been wanting to do that for quite a while anything regarding to ducks.
Yeah, Vinny's a real genuine guy, I have to say, just from working with him. Because there's a lot of people that are, you know, personalities here, but jerks behind the scenes and stuff like that. But Vinny is actually like really solidly. He's actually probably too good for himself in that, you know, he'll do the right thing at the expense of himself, that kind of stuff.
Oh, he's honorable.
It's kind of, I guess. I remember there was a period when I followed him before I worked for him, I think, where he was unemployed, and this was before the YouTube bucks, you know, started rolling in for him. He was unemployed, and he started up a Patreon, and he ended up killing the Patreon because he felt guilty for the amount of money that people were willingly giving him.
Okay, I understand his point of view, but
It's not setting the best example to say this, but you should take while the taking's good.
Yeah, if I'm unemployed and destitute and people are willing to give me money, you know, and there's no gun to their head, you know, they're just doing it. No one told them to pledge; they just pledged. I don't know if I have an ethical conflict here.
Yeah, remember, everyone's honor code is usually different, or they don't have honor. So, okay, here's a riddle for you. You sold your honor, but you got everything you ever wanted. What are you left with?
Well, I don't know.
You're left with no honor.
No honor. Yes.
Oh yeah. Molly was in Mayor Vine at one point. Hey, at least there's the bright side for Chugga Conroy. At least he actually got to reunite with Molly when he was visiting other towns.
Yeah, I remember there being Molly and the ketchup duck, and I could see them more than I remember the Scoot, obviously.
Well, of course, he was a think tank. Think Tank is an awesome villain in Venture Brothers. I mean, that voice. You know what? I want someone to draw Vinny as frickin' Hugh Neutron with his ducks. I will pay you a grand total of $5 if you do it. Oh.
didn't enjoy it. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I'll get kicked out of the Vinesauce server for mentioning it. Oh.
I had a lot of, but I really did enjoy my time being under the Vinesauce flag. It was difficult for me to part, but it was becoming necessary because I just was running out of time to do anything.
And it was time for the bird to finally leave its nest.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's one of those dumb things, right? It's like when I started working for Vinny, we kind of had these dreams that, you know, he was going to become really big and then he could actually pay me like a salary of some sort and stuff like that. But his growth, he was big but never really grew really fast. So the money was never there. And so meanwhile, of course, that means I have to keep a job, a regular day job. And that day job is just something that's become more and more, you know, I've become more important at that position, which means it takes more of my time and energy. And it's like, so I'm getting to the point where some days I only have like 3 or 4 usable hours to myself on a day. And it's like, if I was trying to edit videos for my channel and edit videos for Vinny's channel, that was pretty much like a whole second job that really wasn't paying anything. And that's all I was doing. And so it's like at some point I had to give something up. And I decided that I was more interested in trying to become my own personality after so many years of being under Vinny that, you know, that's just the way things are.
All right. So I'm guessing, let me have an iteration of your thought. I am Captain Southbird, and I have a dream.
Something like that.
All right. I actually did see your latest episode of Starbound, Back to the Lab, just to mean. All right. So, I gotta ask you this. Is it nerf or nutting?
Nerf or nutting. Yeah, that's the whole thing with the dark guns. The concept is funny. For some reason, it's running really bad performance-wise. I don't know why that is. The creator of the mod that's relevant to, he was actually talking to me after the video ended and suggesting there were some other mods that might be causing that. But
well,
which is possible.
Well, I gotta say, the mod itself is actually a pretty fun idea, as well as really twisted. They don't like violence, so we're just gonna use these Nerf guns and gonna shoot them into the lava. It's, you know, kid-friendly.
That's right.
Why did I get demonetized? We use Nerf guns!
And I mean, the funny thing is, of course, the Shell Guard mod is pretty much all about guns and big weapons and mechs and things. So, I mean, this is just them being funny, I think. Because there actually is a corollary, and our recordings are way ahead of this particular video, so we're further in. But it's like you'll eventually find there's another guy who's running actual like blood sport matches. So, you know. Dark gun things just to be fun.
So basically the calm before the actual storm.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, the big thing about this type of stuff, you always have to know when's the right timing.
Or you're a captain.
Well, I'm afraid your first mate is a fox dog creature. I don't even know what I am. Apparently, a couple of my friends says I'm an ape, but I think that's more of an insult than anything else. Here we are. Come on, give me my colors, dang it! I want colored people. So yeah. I also remember you saying like you have a concept or idea of a game. I know it's still a thought process, but perhaps maybe like a 2D game or something like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, my thought is that I don't really want to get too invested in an idea until I actually know what I can pull off. So really, the stage I'm at is I need to learn one of these modern game engine things. You know, Unity or Godot is the other popular one, I guess. Which one are you using?
Unreal Engine.
Unreal, yeah, that's another one.
Unreal is great for graphics and power, but if you don't have a computer that can match the power of it, it's basically wasted.
I can imagine. Yeah, but anyway, so it's like I figure I gotta learn how to do one of these things. I gotta figure out what I know how to do and what I'm capable of. And then I can start forming an idea around that. I'm sure I could do a 2D game, because almost anything can do a 2D game. But, you know, I'd like to know if I could at least have 3D presentation of some sort. I don't know. It's just something I have to catch up on. I mean, my the education that I got in life and my professional work life have all been around like business applications, which is not fun at all. And it certainly wasn't my passion, my childhood dreams, but it does pay the bills, so it's what I do.
I actually work a full-time job working construction, and later today I gotta get my hands moisturized in a tube sock. Oh god, that could be taken out of context. Oh, it's not what you think. It's not nearby the desk, guys. Please.
It's just to help with calluses.
It's to help with my eczema. Yeah, let's go with that. Guys, come on. It's just eczema. All right, I think I fixed it. So you're able to get into contact with me since I just removed the quote-unquote quality filter. Yeah, sure, it's quality, all right. When I need to talk to someone who is of quality.
Well, that's what it is. It filters out all quality.
Yeah, now I gotta go to the bottom of the barrel. I'm pretty sure the Australians want their Vegemite back. Also, yeah, I'm also a voice actor. An actual voice actor. What you're hearing from me earlier is just me being a doof. Just being a doofus is all.
Well, aren't we all? So I know Isabel was never a big player in Beast Intersection, but there's one thing I remember her saying. It was one of those town hall things, and she said, "I'm good at fellatio, you dipshits."
I remember that. Oh, you know what the real kicker is? The voice actress for Isabel, she said I'm fully allowed to mix her voices for anything. I think I'm going to, she also did the voice for Isabel for my, Super Smash Brothers, dub edition, where all the characters that are revealed, except for a few of them, have their own voices. Like, Banjo-Kazooie and, King K. Rool, Isabel. I specifically asked, SNT to do the voice of Isabel because I remember her doing voices for, Alpha. Ever seen Dr. Doe? I think Teckworks knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know it.
You think paper would be light, but you forget it's wood. It's painful wood. What type of do you see yourself in the next 3 years?
Don't say doing your wife. Don't say doing your wife. Don't say doing your wife. Doing your son?
There's like different answers depending how optimistic I'm being. My most pessimistic answer is in 3 years, I'm probably in the same place I am now. I fully expect that I'll still be working in the IT industry, and none of my dreams will be realized, and that's just the way life is. I'd like to see a growth in some kind of popularity. Like this YouTube stuff. It's a fun outlet, but man, trying to get any popularity whatsoever, it's just. I only have, even the popularity I have now is still mostly Vinesauce, and it's like, but any actual growth, and once I left Vinesauce, my channel stagnated in terms of performance. And I mean, I know there's a lot of other algorithm stuff people like to talk about, but it's like that thing just, it only recently has shown any growth at all after, like, since 2017. Like it.
Oh yeah, bro. My channel stagnated for a long time when I was trying to do animation live streams, but people didn't really like that. And I was doing live streams of the webcomic Brawl in the Family as an animated series. Oh, I actually got a couple of pretty good names into the series as well.
So I have to say that you do actually have a pretty good range of voices. Been pretty impressed about that.
Thank you. I'm also doing voice work for Beyond Skyrim and Skywind. Yeah, I'm voice acting as several orcs, a Khajiit, as well as a main villain in one of the Beyond Skyrim mods.
So yeah, I could say having knowing that you have those kind of connections, that actually might be useful to me too. So I'd say that's productive.
Hey, that's all. That's the beauty of networking. That's also my strong suit. I know a guy who knows a guy. You got to do this, that, and the other. Kill a couple of officials, smell some cheese. You know, the usual.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I could see maybe we'll be able to do some stuff. I mean, I don't know what it is yet, but when it comes to me, I'll let you know.
Well, let's just say that if Beast Intersection Old Verticals actually become reality, this would be the pilot. Although I'm not really sure if getting Courtney SNT might be possible because she is usually pretty busy and she charges. I actually paid her like $30 to do the voices. I mean, she's worth every penny. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely. I get you. No, and I'm fine with paying people their dues. That's just got to figure all that out. Well, so I have this genuine curiosity. I've actually had this before, like early on. It's like, what, if I were, for example, to make a Beast Intersection video and then have people do all the voices, just so it's not just me. And I'm honestly curious what that might be like. So that is a possibility. I could see if that happens in the future.
Well, like I said, I have an entire guild full of personal guild, my own personal guild. Everyone else could go suck it. Yes, I'm selfish. I deserve everything. You guys deserve nothing.
Well, so it's something interesting. That's something I could explore.
I'm also willing to teach people how to do animation work is a separate thing altogether. They need to be an apprentice for me for a while. But I'm willing to teach people how to be a voice actor if they are. I do classes for it. If anyone's interested in that. And I also teach people how to sing. I teach people how to sing, how to voice act, and how to improve their speaking. So if anyone might be interested in that, let me know.
Is that something you just like do as a service, or are they videos, or what are they?
I actually do that as a service. I do it for free on occasion, but as the Joker said, if you're good at something, you never do it for free.
That makes sense.
Okay. Link actually has a good idea. Beast Intersection, the musical, coming soon to Southbird YouTube channel. He's thinking. Yeah. And I can imagine Bella. I want to get wet with Bird.
Oh, that's like ridiculous, but it's kind of great.
Wait. Hey, as long as we have someone named Gilbert in there, then we're good.
And I'm Javert.
I'm never gonna get want to get wet with Bird out of my head now.
Oh, okay, it's gonna be a reprising of 9 Inch Nails. You know the one song, I wanna F you like an animal. She's, instead of that, she says she wants to get wet with you like oh my god, we gotta make this story reality in the future.
Chief singing will be funny because it would just be nonsense. That's in your chat.
I think it'd be mumble rap. I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. There's future. So why did you remove the Night in the Woods thing? Was it regarding to the controversy that happened with Zoe Quinn?
No, see, that's just an unfortunate coincidence. That's really all that was. In all honesty, the game, I went into this blind. See, like, I saw Night in the Woods when it was, like, in development. You know, they had their demo out the last night or whatever they call it. That's what I saw. I saw it first, and then I just, like, forgot about it for years. And then back in August, I saw something on Reddit that referenced Night in the Woods, and I was like, oh, yeah, I always kind of wanted to play that. And so then I did, and I just recorded the thing. And I mean, I think over 3 days or something, I recorded pretty much the entire game, and I just started releasing the videos. And then it was like I was down to like the last 1 or 2, and that's when all that controversy happened. I was already done recording though, so I mean, it was just like, well, I'm just going to finish releasing this because whatever. Of course, once the controversy happened, somebody had to write about it on every single video, and that was bothersome. Just because it's like, well, it's unfortunate, but that's not. It's like it's not something I'm not commenting on it, I guess. And it's like, I'm looking for response to the video I made, not the controversy.
Unfortunately, a lot of people will always remember the. Let me put it to you this way: you could do 1,001 good things, but if you do that one little fuck up, everyone wants to remember that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very true. But anyway, it's still, that wasn't why I unlisted them in the end. The reason that happened was just simply a matter of metrics. So I got really into Night in the Woods. I don't know why. It's just something that resonated with me at the time, and I was really enjoying it. And I put out all these videos, and the viewership on it was terrible. That was one problem. I mean, most of them barely broke 1,000 views if they did that. And I'm not like, Mr. Super Views over here, but if I don't make like at least 5,000 on something, then it's like, that's bad by my metrics. And these things are like barely doing anything in performance. That was one problem. The other one is that the game is something very divisive. Either somebody loves the story, they love the characters, or they find it cringy garbage and they don't want anything to do with it. And it seems like there's nothing in between.
Yeah.
So
yes. In the immortal words of George Bush, you're either with us or against us.
Yeah. So it was also causing divisiveness. So it's like between bad performance and divisiveness, I suddenly thought this really was not something that I want to be featured on my channel. And so I just kind of quietly delisted it and decided I was just going to keep my feelings to myself about that. I did leave up the ones where I randomized the text because I figured, well, that's just me doing me, so that's harmless enough.
All right. Fair enough.
But yeah, it had nothing to do with the controversy. That was just an unfortunate thing that happened.
Yeah.
And its timing couldn't have been worse.
Yeah,
Not to demean the situation, of course. I'm just saying, for me, it was tail end of my video releases.
Yeah. Any other ideas that you're trying to go for your series and such?
Well, of Beast Intersection?
No, outside of Beast Intersection, like other games you want to try out.
Now, that's actually been a big problem. You see, it's like, so, of things, like, what would I want to play? Like, I thought Night in the Woods might be a great direction, those kind of story-based games, but because of the terrible metrics and outcome of that, I've kind of like, I've lost the nerve there. us. We can't seem to find another game that gives us that kind of like flexibility, and characters to bounce off of. Like, we did Terraria, but Terraria turns into just you're gonna fight the boss to fight the boss to fight the boss to fight the boss, and that gets boring. We did like Minecraft for a while. Besides that being oversaturated, it just it's a dead world. It doesn't really give you anything to get feedback from. And it's like, so the Starbound set our bar really high, and I don't know what else could be an experience like that.
Yeah, it's trying to capture lightning in a bottle again, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's like we haven't done like the Game Grumps style, two people just yelling at a game or anything.
Yeah,
like
no, we don't. We never say that word here. We never say that word in those two words in a sentence of the same thing. No, bad bird. Do not repeat that again.
But yeah, so something like that I have not actually attempted. I don't know what that would be like. I wouldn't even know what would be good for that. I think it's part of the thing is like Tech and I just have to get experimental, and I just it's just something we'd both have to agree to try to do something different.
Well, there's Don't Starve Together.
I've heard that title mentioned before.
It's actually a pretty good one to go with. Is your VR chat? Maybe that's something that you could also do as well. Like you could get someone to create a 3D model of you, and you could play around with people that.
I've heard that you can find people who make models like that.
Well, I know a couple of people, but they aren't cheap. That's for certain.
What's your definition of not cheap?
Well, on average, a 3D modeler can range from 300 to around 2,000. Depending.
300. Yeah, 300 is probably about the ceiling I'd want to spend on something like that.
Yeah, and that's also not including the rig.
Oh. Well, I don't know. It's a thought, but it sounds like some investment.
So how many people have done animation work of you and your exploits?
I want to say you're the first. I don't remember anything else.
Ah, so you're a virgin.
Yes. But I say that with hesitation because I want to make sure, because it's been a lot of years. But I'm pretty sure you're the first one. Certainly a first Beast Intersection one.
Well, Beast Intersection related.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't worry. I'll make sure to pop cherry.
Yes.
Don't you mean pop your cherry? Bitch, I know what I said.
Yeah.
Hey, you may have Bella, your plague rat. Cherry is mine.
It's funny. It's like it's similar to Klingon, how Klingon was someone Vinny didn't like. I mean, Bella was really the same story as at first. The whole plague rat thing.
Holy
like, oh, but I think Bella's cute, so I'm gonna go a different direction. And
holy shit, bro! You fought the plague rat. Nice. That one was actually hilarious. I wasn't expecting him to say, "You fucked the plague rat, man." Nice.
Well, actually, that was interesting. Some of the early Beast Intersection, I was playing with the. So even though it was using a lot of other text, I was importing YouTube comments from my own videos just for the sake of it. What was interesting about that is it kind of made it so the audience's reaction were fed into the next episode. We actually gave a little bit of continuity, but I stopped doing it eventually. But it was interesting for a while.
I don't think that's gonna. That definitely ain't gonna work. Sorry, guys. I just gotta move around a little. They're kind of sticking.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think I held enough of your time. You're free if you want to leave.
Well, it is getting late for an office worker.
All right then. All right then. Thank you so much for showing up, Southbird. It really means a lot.
Not a problem. It's always fun reminiscing about Beast Intersection and all that stuff.